Mic check 1 2 1 2. Yo. Welcome in, two normies, two nerds. I am your sensei, Kendall King Kunch. Man, it's good to see y'all in the building in here tonight. Back here in the dojo. Look, we're gonna have a great show tonight. Look, man. And I'm gonna fix this screen because I'm not really. I don't know. Hold on. Let me. I'm editing the layout a little bit. All right. Editing the layout a little bit because we getting in here. It's been a minute. Chillin says it's about doggone time. But look, we got Daniel High in the building. Daniel Fisher chilling in the basement. Brooke Chin. Hey, Jedi Mike. What is good, y'all? It is good to be back here with another stream. And look, this is going to be a spicy stream. I gotta tell y'all right now, guys. This is going to be a spicy stream because I didn't come back here for nothing. I can't lie. Like, I would be. Look, here's the thing. Not to size myself up, but we got three kids now. All right, that's one thing. Got three beautiful babies right now, and they're all doing good. Family's doing good. Wife's doing good. Life's been good. I'll start there. Life has been ultimately good for the most part. So it's been busy though. It's been busy at work. So just streaming in general has had to take a back burner. And let me make sure it says I'm losing keyframe. Let me open this joint up. All right, cool. So look, everything's going well. Let me know in the chat if we laggy, chat. Like if we laggy, let me know. But everything's been going well. But I just gotta keep it a buck. I cannot. Certain things has been said. Certain things has been going on throughout my hiatus. That like I just had to touch on. Like, it's certain things has been said that like I've just been like, I can't really keep my mouth quiet about it at this point. And like your boy Justin, who, by the way, Justin, where the hell are you? Look, I could just blame all of this on Justin for me not streaming. Yeah, I'll blame this all on Justin. Justin, the reason why I ain't been streaming is your fault. It's your fault why I ain't been streaming. Absolutely your fault. Which, by the way, like the stream, hit up some of your folks. Let them know that we streaming. But yeah, somebody get Justin in there. But what he's been telling me is that, every time some of these things come up, he's like, this is why we need you to stream. Like, of course, like, in the dojo, I be going off with my nerdy stuff, with my nerdy topics and things. And we're definitely going to get to that with Fantastic Four, like Galactus. Some of the things that's going to be going on there. Like, we got to get into what the hell is happening there with Galactus, right? And it's definitely KK's fault while Justin's out here. But on the other end, I got to talk about some of the things that's been happening. And where I kind of just had my mouth shut, but I kind of just want to like expound on these things a little bit. So let's talk. All right. Which one of y'all want to start off with? And this is where we're going. This is the energy tonight. The Superman movie seems controversial. Let me know how. To keep it a buck, I think the Superman movie is going to make like 90 mil to 100 mil opening weekend, maybe less than that. I'm not going to go see Superman because I know I want to go see Fantastic Four. And I think this July 4th was an anomaly a little bit. Justice in the building. I think this Jurassic World Rebirth is a little bit of an anomaly, even though like I think it looks lit. I think it looks fire. It's a little bit of the holiday season. I think that primed itself. I think things in the economy, things like in how things have been going overall, it kind of primed us to want to kind of spend that 4th of July in the movies. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I think that had a lot to play into it. On top of it looking dope as hell in marketing. But that's neither here nor there. Let's start here because Justin's here. And my volume's low. It takes Justin in here to tell y'all that my volume's low. And are we sure about that? Are we completely sure that my volume is low and that Justin's volume just isn't all the way up? Like, are we sure? Are we completely 100 on that? Hold on, let's see. Sound. Device properties. My microphone is Man, my microphone is a bit low. That should be better. Thank you, Justin. My microphone was a bit low. Give it up in the chat for Justin. W's in the chat for Justin. W's in the chat for Justin. Clap it up for Justin. Now look, let's talk. Because what do y'all want me to start, chat? Do y'all want me to start with Ironheart or do y'all want me to start with Recasting T'Challa? Let me know in the chat. Where y'all want me to start? Ironheart or Recasting T'Challa? Because both of them about to get the business. Because y'all want me to start with T'Challa. All right, bet. Boom. Oh, let's start with Ironheart. T'Challa. Not T'Challa. Hey, you got to delete that Daniel High and you got to put it back in there. Pause. Both topics are AIDS to talk about. What does that mean? Are AIDS to talk about? Well, what does AIDS even mean? What does AIDS even mean, chat? What does AIDS even mean? And look, I'm sorry, I can at least pull my little chain out. I'm up in here in my little just doodad shirt. Like, I could at least pull my chain out a little bit. All right, look, let's get it. We're going to go, what we got? We got more talking about T'Challa, so boom. I actually did want to stream about 2 weeks ago. But like I said, things been so crazy. But as we know, news have been circulating around and recast T'Challa stuff. T'Challa's been in the news really for about the last 2 months. Like going all the way back to like the Christopher Priest stuff, what's been going on with that comic there, with the World to Come comic, which actually like I actually like F with. I haven't had a chance to get to the comic store to get it. But T'Challa has been in the news. Oh, like it's a recurring news cycle with T'Challa. Like every time something about T'Challa or around Black Panther or around Ryan Coogler, anytime like especially like during Sinners, anything that happens with Storm, anything that happens with a black character, recast T'Challa finds a way to rear his heads out. And look, I'm gonna say this: I have always been. They should have recast, like, best decision, prime decision. They should have recasted a T'Challa in the MCU. Whether that meant not making Black Panther 2, regardless, we should have had a recasted T'Challa in the MCU. But as a human being, I can understand, going back to those many years ago at this point, as a human being, I can understand why they elected to not do that in that movie. So boom, now we're here. Some of the more recent news that has people hyped. Some of the news that has me more hyped is that Damson Idris is just throwing it out there that he may be T'Challa. He may or may not been in talks to be T'Challa and whatnot. And that to me has me so excited because if you have been rocking with us back when we were streaming, I was one of the first people to be shouting out at the top of the lungs. I was one of the first people. I don't care what you think. I was one of the first people, chat, to say Damson Idris needs to be T'Challa. Like that was me. I threw that out there. I think I threw that out there more than anybody else. Even in the Nerd Vendors chat, like people didn't even know who Damson Idris was. I'm a huge Snowfall fan, and the moment he said, "I built this shit brick by brick," I knew that dude, and the Suave with him too. He could be T'Challa. So I've been calling that for a W. And I think my dream is coming true that he is going to be becoming T'Challa. Now, of course, I'm hype about that. Everybody's hype about that. But then comes the discussion of recasting T'Challa. And like I said, for the most part, I think when you hear recast T'Challa and you ask like just the general public, people will say, yeah, recast T'Challa. We need a new T'Challa. But then there's things that takes it to the next level, right? There's things that kind of are weird to a certain extent from people when it comes to wanting us to recast T'Challa. Now, look, whether you like it or not, chat, did Wakanda Forever happen in the MCU? All right. That's one. And this is a little bit of a hard conversation to have because, like, I would much rather be going back and forth with what other people are saying, but just looking at what I've seen, a small percent, because when you really think about it on the grand scheme of things, it's a small percent. Like the hardcore recast of T'Challa is a small percent of the whole like nerdy culture that goes to go see these movies that made Black Panther the movie franchise what it was. Now the comic franchise, I've seen personally a little bit of split reaction. But when it comes to the overall, going to the movies that knows Black Panther to be Chadwick Boseman, there's a lot more grace out there than what Twitter and YouTube videos, which by the way, anybody still making Recast T'Challa YouTube videos on the regular, they are stuck on that topic. They can't leave that topic alone. They are grifting on that topic. I promise you. Go look at their channels. They only get a certain amount of views on those topics. If there's a video that pop off on that channel, it'll be that topic. And on top of that, it'll be the same number of people watching it each time because they're so entrenched on that one topic. It's very niche. YouTube is a very niche algorithm. And Recast T'Challa is a small niche in the YouTube algorithm that gets pushed out to the few people who want to know it. What's going on, Dan? So, with that being said, and again, this is not to tear down the idea of replacing T'Challa because we need T'Challa. Here's where my issues are. There's things going out there about him not playing T'Challa. If it comes down to Dance from Idris, I have my own requirements. So I'm not really going to tear down others for having their own requirements. Oh, man, he might hop on. I just, popped up on the stream. I ain't really get it. But what's going on, Dan? But, it might be some things that kind of, I'm not going to fault somebody for having their own requirements, but I am going to say, this joint's kind of wild. Because at the end of the day, I think everybody, what's up, Red? I think everybody will want to have the actual comic book accurate character, like comic book, like, his parents and everything be T'Challa in the MCU. I want that too, all right? But when we hear Dance and Idris talk and they're saying things of, there was a rumor like that concept art was T'Chanda. There's a rumor that the concept art was T'Chanda. Chat, let me know, chat. I'm not here for T'Chanda. I'm just keeping a buck. I'm not here for T'Chanda. I want a T'Challa. I want T'Challa. Now here's the thing. A lot of people who shout anti, and this is what this thing is really about. This conversation is about the son of T'Challa. This conversation is about the son of T'Challa. T'Challa. Or you want to call him T'Challa the second, T'Challa Jr. I refuse to call him T'Challa. Like, I think that's disrespectful to what they plan. To keep it a buck, I find T'Challa very disrespectful to what they planned and how they felt like they would honor Chad's legacy. To keep it a buck, like to just call him T'Challa, like that's not what they were doing. Like respect the movie, respect the art of what they were doing. The art of what they were doing was having a son to carry on that mantle, and they named him T'Challa. Was it a mistake to have him first say his name was Toussaint? Hell yeah. Hell effing yeah, it was a mistake to say his name was Toussaint. All right. Now, if we all can go back to a lot of the things that were said about the movie, a lot of the things that were said about Wakanda Forever, what it could have been, what it should have been. If you recall in the podcast, my man's Ryan Coogler, he's on fire right now. Like Ryan Coogler. He stated that their original plans were for this to be T'Challa having a son in that movie. Early on scripts were, what's going on, Griff? What's up, dog? Early on scripts were he would have a son in that movie. So they were already going down that route. And I think maybe that Toussaint thing would have worked well if you already had Chadwick there, and you still had T'Challa, the T'Challa still living. But with that being said, like that didn't happen, so things had to move around. They made a mistake by saying T'Challa to Toussaint. And that was not the only mistake in the movie. I think the biggest mistake was making that movie. If you can't make that movie with the T'Challa because you're grieving, the world understands that. Maybe the world understands that because maybe the world doesn't understand why they did what they did. As a human fucking being, I understand why they did what they did. Like Dan, I would argue mistake was killing off T'Challa in the first place. I believe that's a mistake, but as human beings, we got to accept that there's a reason why they did it. And that's a lot of my frustration when it comes to the recast T'Challa argument, because it seems like we want to ignore why they did what they did. It seems like they really want to ignore why they did what they did in the moment. And that's what I want to get into next when it comes to T'Challa, the son of T'Challa, being the main character in the MCU. Being the main MCU character going forward. Because I believe that's what they're going to do. And like I said, at the end of the day, I wish it was just like T'Chaka, all comic book story accurate. But as a human being and as a black man, I actually F with it more for this reason. All these other actors who have passed and been recasted, they haven't bent over backwards to make these changes because no one has had an impact off screen from that role like Chadwick Boseman had in the role of T'Challa. Let's take a trip back to 2016 when we got Black Panther. We saw Black Panther on screen, right? I think that was in Civil War. And then you fast forward to 2018 or whatever, when we got the movie. That press tour, the amount of people meeting him out in public, the amount of us doing this to each other, calling him my king, the excellence in which he carried himself, that all represents something that's worth remembering. That's all representing something that F this comic book character who, look, I love Black Panther, easily my favorite comic books to read. But all those things in a real life legacy trump, to them, the comics. And to me as a black man, seeing another black man being valued by a company, seeing another black man being valued by a white company, white-owned company like Disney that has a history of racism, that has a history of doing just racist depictions and not really representing black folks in the right light, seeing that come from them to say, you know what? In honor of the legacy of Chadwick Boseman in the films, the T'Challa we know and love will be the son of T'Challa. The T'Challa we know and love would be the son of T'Challa. And that to me is beautiful. It's poetic. I can live with that always being a remembrance, because even when my kids watch the Black Panther movie and then they realize, because they're going to read these comics, that hold up, why is his dad's name T'Challa and not T'Chaka? I can share the beautiful story of Chadwick Boseman. And it's not like they're going to be idiots. It's not like they're going to be dummies to not understand, oh, okay, this is the way it is in the movies. And they just pull inspiration from comic books to make movies. You remember, Marvel movies are inspired by Marvel comics. It's not, damn near nobody has the same origin in the comics that they do on screen. And on top of that, everybody's dead dies. Pretty much everybody's superhero's dead dies, especially Black Panther. In every multiverse, T'Chaka is going to die. That is what it is. That story is still going to play in the story of young T'Challa. So, with that being said, I just find it asinine. If you want to disagree with that idea, of aging up in the reboot or in Doomsday, or if you get a multiversal T'Challa, he is the son of T'Challa. If you want to do if you don't like that, I can completely understand it. For real, because it's not what you want. It's not necessarily what I want, but I can respect it and get with it because of why they're doing it. And I think as a black man, and to be real, one of the loudest voices, I don't even really know if he black, and he damn sure ain't Black American. One of the loudest voices I see on YouTube doing it, he damn sure ain't Black American. But as a black man who's experienced this shit in America, who grew up covering this shit in America, who's boots on the ground on this shit in America, when I see a company that's going to make that decision to have this one person's legacy live on for as long as they have him be the son of T'Challa, I applaud them and I'm here for it. You want to know why? Because the name of his parents, the name of his parents doesn't change the integrity of that character. All right? Like the name of his, if you want to do a value prop, like if you want to weigh the value of, okay, keeping his name the same, whatever, blah, 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 or like you can elevate the legacy of a real life black man, and you can also to put that story in the movie to bring some awareness to it, to always have his memory live on, to have that work. If you want to ask me which one I wanted to, like which one I would trade, I would definitely take the one where you honoring the real life actual black man who you can use that story from time on in. That's like, to me, bar none, a great solution. And it can work in multiple ways. Like I said, you can go to the multiverse. He could be the son of T'Challa. And you can have an older version of T'Challa like Denzel, like some people are throwing out, an older version of like the Chadwick Boseman iteration of T'Challa. Have that be Chadwick Boseman. I mean, have that be Denzel Washington. That works. You can give those opportunities to older legendary actors, and that name can still be T'Challa throughout the multiverse or wherever. He's the son of T'Challa, and that doesn't change anything, because you want to know why? That T'Challa is not going to be named T'Challa Jr. He's not going to be called T'Challa II. He's damn sure not going to be called T'Challa. In the movie, he's going to be called by his name, T'Challa. How many times in the movie do we say the name T'Chaka in Avengers Endgame, in Avengers Infinity War? Never. Small few minutes, a minute or less, maybe 2 minutes in Black Panther, the actual movie, and maybe like 3 minutes of screen time in Civil War, if that. So at the end of the day, like, to me, this can work. This can absolutely work. And for the sake of what we're talking about here, I'm going to call him T'Challa II, because he would be T'Challa II. Royalty doesn't name their kids T'Challa Jr. Royalty doesn't name their kids Junior. And like, it's like I said, like, to me, it's a slap in the face to the creators of what they were going through and what they were working on, and the vision of what they're trying to do to carry on Chadwick Boseman's legacy by having a T'Challa on screen. What they're trying to do, I think it's a slap in the face to the people who were grieving and made that decision to call T'Challa II T'Challa. Yeah, you can joke or whatever it is, but like at the end of the day, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. That's damn right disrespectful. So at the end of the day, I'm here for, in the case of the argument, T'Challa II to be the Black Panther as soon as possible, and then the reboot and beyond. Only because, even though, look, I'd rather him be the son of T'Chaka. I'd really rather him be the son of T'Chaka. But only because you're actually honoring the legacy of a real black man. And for people to say, let's get him in Doomsday for sure. And for people to say, you know, I'm all about wanting to see representation on screen, you know, like this is an agenda to be anti-black or no, definitely not the case. To be real, if the most, I don't want to say racist, but the most like racially, like the most insensitive thing that Disney could have done is force the recast in that movie and not respect what Chadwick had meant to the entire like black culture at that moment. Cause like when Chadwick died, that shit hit like, not like, I know it hit the nerdy community, but also hit like the black community that's not nerds in ways that hit like Kobe hit, bro. Like it's just such a tragic loss. And what he meant beyond the movie, what he meant outside the movie, I think it would have been the insensitive thing to do. And like, you know, I love everybody on earth, but it would have been like the traditional, like corporate white America thing to do, to disregard the legacy of the actual black man in that role and just throw another one in there like nothing happened. Like I said, I think that would have created the best movie in the best situation. But ultimately, I just don't think they should have made the movie. I don't think they should have made the movie, but they did. Because why? Because they wanted to honor Chad's legacy and use their artwork to help them grieve. Use their artwork to help them grieve. Use their artwork to help them grieve while still plant the seed for the legacy and for what he wanted for it to continue with T'Challa to move forward in the future. That's it. That's it. And like I said, like the child thing, like he was going to be in the movie regardless. T'Challa the second was going to be in the movie regardless. Regardless. That was going to be the plot of the movie. But we want to act like that's not the case. We want to act like that's not the case. So like I said, I'm here for it. As much as I would have rather, you know, like us have the son of T'Chaka, to me, the difference is minuscule. As long as the character T'Challa, and in this case of the argument, T'Challa the second, as long as that character continues to be Black Panther, to incorporate T'Challa's traits, to be what makes T'Challa, yo, it ain't gonna make a difference, B. It's not, like, at the end of the day, it's not gonna make a fucking difference, B. It's not. It's just fucking not. And at this point, I mean, I've had my takes, and I say it again. I think that's part of the, like, my irritation with what's going around with a lot of the recast T'Challa decision, like discussion, like the group, the fandom. Like, I think that's a very toxic part of it. And that's not at Eve, man, because, like, I mean, I've heard, like, Ryan Cool, like, they can chop it up peacefully. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's just idiotic to me to keep, like, going on and on about, like, recast T'Challa and have your goalposts and your stance in one way and one way only. To say, nah, this is how it has to be. And if it's not this way, this is what makes it left. You can want it to be a certain way, and you can be upset that it's not a certain way, but this is what makes it left. This is what makes it go left. One, that you think that they're going to give you T'Challa the second and not to son of T'Chaka because there's a racist agenda. That's asinine. That's asinine. That's very fucking asinine. First of all, if there was a racist agenda, Black Panther wouldn't have been made in the first place, to keep it a buck. Secondly, let's not act like T'Challa, the son of T'Challa, or T'Challa, the son of T'Chaka, being on screen is going to fucking change lives for kids and for people who watch it. Let's not act like that's what happens. Because we know damn well when the son of T'Chaka was on screen, what was going on in America. We know damn well, regardless of us having Black Panther, what was happening in America. And where we are right the fuck now. Believe me, having the son of T'Challa instead of the son of T'Chaka will not make your life any better. It will not make your life any better. And then the second thing that really makes me, like, cross the line about, like I said, this whole extremely small niche fandom, because you see it on the YouTube numbers. YouTube is very niche algorithmed. You see it in the numbers. The second thing is attacking people, calling people, acting like people aren't Black Panther fans, acting like people aren't quote unquote woke enough in the actual sense of the term of what woke actually means, and like people aren't down for the cause, simply because we say we would take the son of T'Challa instead of the son of T'Chaka. That's just asinine to me. It's just asinine. Like, it's to me, it's disrespectful to the actual real world situation. Again, an idiot could tell that a movie is inspired by comic books, and you can be able to look at the movie and see the son of T'Challa and ask the question and understand the situation. You know what I mean? Even if you never read a comic book and you go to the movies and you read you see the son of T'Challa, and then you go to the comics and you see the son of T'Chaka, and you want to ask what the deal is, like, why is it like that? You automatically can know and look it up in like 2 minutes why it is the way it is. And it's a gateway to actually give somebody some real life fucking inspiration of a person who lived their life in such a way that this company would like their legacy to live on forever. Because at the end of the day, I think this decision lets us have our cake and eat it too. I think us, especially us as black men, we should want to be able to have our cake and eat it too, to honor the life of Chadwick Boseman in a way that allows his legacy to move on, but still pushes the story forward and gives us the great stories of T'Challa. And if that's the way the studio wants to do it, that's the way the studio can do it in my book. It is what it is. But look, let me know in the chat. Look, I'm about to hit the chat. Let me know, chat. Like, am I too rough on it? Because at the end of the day, like I said, that's one of the things that's really been egging me while I've been quiet. That's one of the things that's really been egging me when I've been quiet. It's that, like, no. One, the entire people who want to recast T'Challa don't think that way. We don't think that way. We don't. Ryan Coogler, we don't. Ryan Coogler, I will give you the time to cook. Now, here's the thing. I do not know how to stop the ads on the live stream, Griff. I do not know how to stop the ads on the live stream. I'm going to keep it about. I do not know how to stop that at all. Like, I got YouTube Premium. Is ads on everybody's live stream? Is ads on everybody's live stream? I don't know how to stop that shit. Let me scroll up here in the comments. So, I did see Delta Dan talking. I ain't really having time to read it, because I wanted to lock in on what I say, you know what I mean? So the whole film was written while they were grieving. Remember, I was an extra in Wakanda Forever. Lupita and I were still hurting. I didn't know you were extra in that. Crazy thing is, they could have set this up during the blip. They could have. I didn't know that. But the early concepts were that he would have a son in that movie. Like, that's very much stated by Ryan Coogler. But that's lit. You was an extra in the movie. I didn't know that. Have a multiverse variant of the kid, sure. Just don't make him the Black Panther going forward. When you're rebooting the universe, the whole universe, the way you can recast the OG anyway. And again, like, I agree there. But at the same time, if they want to continue to honor Chadwick Boseman beyond the reboot, because let's look at it this way. If we get an aged up T'Challa the second, I don't want to see him die in Avengers in Doomsday. That T'Challa lives and keeps his memory of everything that happened. That's what I want to have happen for that T'Challa. Like, let's remember that. In Avengers Doomsday and then the reboot, I want that T'Challa to end up being just as important as T'Challa was in the comics. And I'll get to, and again, that's not the coat for what Marvel has been doing. Because at the end of the day, I do feel like this, and again, this is just as important. I feel like Marvel hasn't handled the T'Challa character correctly, even outside of the movies. Like, in this time period of what you got going on right now, like, I know, like as dope as I think this read is, because I'm mature enough to understand, like, just the art behind it and what they're doing, I don't think I don't think this was the right time to do this. I don't think this was the right time to do this, just based on every time you say something about T'Challa, controversy gets drummed up. Eyes of Wakanda. Looks like it can be an okay show, right? Like, I'm not really that hyped for it, but it's not really the time to do this when you don't have a T'Challa. When you got all this smoke around the T'Challa, that's what the conversation is going to be around, regardless of how dope. Eyes of Wakanda might be. And again, I don't want to sleep on Eyes of Wakanda, because it seems like anything Ryan Coogler has his hands on, he can make work. Let me scroll back up here. Some argue the mistake was killing Chuck. I said I read that. Denzel hard as fuck. Perhaps Anthony just could get visits. That could be cool. Especially because we lost them both. We did lose both of them at the same time. That was, like I said, that was crazy. I want to be having those takes. I'll tell you who be having those takes. Be blaming it on the world people, bro. It be blaming on, like, I'm just going to keep it a buck. People with those takes are blaming it on the world people. And if you don't know what blame it on the world people are, they are personal fable people. Personal fable is when you think things only happen to you. There are also people who think they can't get ahead because of some overarching force that's tearing them down. Those are those people. Blame it on the world people. Blame it on the world people. That's them. I think if someone remembers the previous universe in Secret Wars, sees Black Panther, pauses, they might be a way to pay homage. That's cool too. That would be cool. Here's my question: if that's how you want it, and you want them to get rid of the kid, how do you think they would do it? Everyone has a lot to say, but it's like Marvel isn't connected. Marvel has no problem simply dropping a plot line. They don't. They don't. I'm not name dropping because honestly, it's not just him. Honestly, it's not just him. There's just for every one of him, there's like 20 more. Like it's not just him. It's like I see it on Twitter because again, I'm a Black Panther fan, and as a Black Panther fan on Twitter, like you can't avoid this shit. You just can't. So it's not just him. It's not just him. But look, that wraps up that one. That wraps up that take. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know, chat. Am I W's? Am I spazzing? Let me know. W's in the chat if you fuck with it. W's and L's in the chat if you don't. Let me know. But either way, and I better not see a fucking L or you timed out. But next up, look. Put a fist in the chat if you watch Ironheart. And then put your score behind the fist. Put a fist behind the chat if you watch Ironheart. And put a score behind the fist. And I see the W's piling in. Appreciate it, chat. I see the W's. The W's. Here's the thing. If you didn't watch Ironheart, I don't blame you. It's cool. But if you didn't watch Ironheart, I don't want to see a score. Look, Ironheart on itself. Ryan Coogler, I might say, putting his name on it, I don't know how much involvement he had in this. But to me, Ryan Coogler is no slouch when it comes to this content game. What I saw was a show that had all the makings to be bad. No, I wouldn't even say that. I saw a show that came out in a time where you see these shows have all the makings to be bad. A lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted energy and messaging, all that stuff. I expected Ironheart to be a 5 or a 4. I expected to see one or two cool things throughout Ironheart when it came to magic and when it came to the technology stuff. I expected to see like one or two cool things, but I expected it to be ass. I expected it to be boring. I expected it to be a 3 or a 4. And I was going to watch the content because I watch content, bro. I'm a nerd. Nerdy content was out. That's why I watched Andor until it got good. Like, that's just how I did. And I think Andor proved me right. So I'm saying all this to say, I find Ironheart to really be like a 7. Could be an 8. I would give it an 8 if the first episodes weren't so choppy. And here's my thing. I think there are elements of this show that people can talk bad about, that people can talk down on, and be extremely valid. Like, the editing in episode 1 was choppy, bro. Like, episode 1, even episode, like, the first 3 episodes, the third episode was the strongest one out of the first 3, of course. But, like, time after time, it, you could tell, like, a lot of conversation was left out. You could tell, like, that was, like, done for pacing and to move it along. And I'm here for it. Because at the end of the day, I would have rather gotten that, having the episodes cut down to 6, and having to be action-packed and get the ride that we got through those 3 episodes each of the 2 weeks. Because I'm going to be real, I was glued to watching. I watched each episode before Wednesday. Like, I watched 2 episodes the first nights that they came out. And then Wednesday during the day, I watched the next episode. Because that's how bad I wanted to see this show. That show was like, that was intriguing to me. So for the first, like, 3 episodes, I would give it a 6. I mean, a 7. Like, no, I'm sorry, a 6. I would give it, like, the first 3 episodes 6. And the last 3 episodes, I would give it 8, which brings that together to be, like, the 7 that I think it deserves. I think it was good. Pure nostalgia, for home. Just pure, I had just pure nostalgia for home watching the show. It's been a few years since I've been to Chicago. That's love. Like, so you from Chicago? That's love, bro. That's love. But here's the thing. Like, I think this show was a lot better than what I thought it was because of one, I was going in there expecting a lot of like the quote unquote woke shit that people be looking for. Chat, let me know. Like, were y'all looking for that shit? Like, I was expecting to see a bunch of that same old. Man, let me delay these ads, bro. Like, how can I cut the ads off? Let's see if I cut these ads off. Monetization off. Done. Say, I ain't gonna make no money from the stream, no way. All right. No more ads. Ad free, brought to you by Normies Nerds. All right, look. I was expecting to see a lot. Like, I'm just gonna be real. Like, I was like some of the things that were said in the previews and stuff like that. Like, I was just expecting to see a lot of like the stuff, the messaging and stuff, the Acolyte messaging and stuff. Like, I was just expecting it to be a lot of that, right? But at the end of the day, they handled that shit well. And it was very meta. Like, it doesn't get the credit that it deserves because they want to, like, people out here making content just for clicks and rage baiting. They're going to clip out things about what she said about Tony Stark or whatever, and we'll get into that to a second, believe me. They'll like to clip out that stuff, but now clip out the very first thing that was being said in the opening montage, which cut all that shit out altogether. Which was, she was going to make it about that when she was arguing to stay in the MIT. You want me to be small, I'm not going to do it. All this, all that. The MIT professor shut that shit down. And I applaud that because that's what we need in real life. Because at the end of the day, like I said, blame it on the world, motherfuckers, is not what you want. She was trying to be a blame it on the world person and make this show a quote unquote woke show. And that MIT director cut that shit in the bud and said, nah, you expelled. Like, I gave you opportunities. You expelled. Don't try that on me. I'm here. Like, I'm the one doing it. You effed up. You out of here. Ain't nothing about race or being a girl about that. You just effed up and you're gone. Chat, am I right or am I wrong? Like, they nipped that shit in the bud right there. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. Yeah, I will convince it. I will get to that, Griff. Nobody talks about that shit. So I think that's one thing that the show did well. Another thing the show did well was just Riri, bro. Like, I'm a fan of Riri now. I want to see more Riri. I'm looking forward to season 2. I'm looking forward to seeing her in Avengers Doomsday. Like, not saying she's one of my favorite characters or one of my favorite new characters, but her character makes sense, and I like it. That to me is all you need. That character makes sense, and I like it. Boom. In the story. So I look forward to seeing her more in there. Now, one of the things that could be said about the show is the performance that was given by the Hood and my man from Hamilton. And I feel bad for not knowing his name because I've seen Hamilton so many times. What's it called? Ironheart. My man's name. Anthony Ramos. I knew his name. Anthony Ramos, he did his damn thing as the Hood. Yo, W's in the chat. W's in the chat for Anthony Ramos, all right? Anthony Ramos as the Hood was like the best casting that like I think they've had in a Disney Plus show since they casted Agatha Harkness as since they casted Kathryn Hahn as Agatha Harkness. Like, I don't think there's been a more spot-on casting since then. Because remember, they casted Agatha back when Disney Plus shows first started. So that thing, like, that... And I guess you got to go Kang, too, with Victor Timely, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They didn't work out. But W's in the chat for Anthony Ramos. Because, like, he absolutely did his damn thing in the show and carried a lot of it from the villain aspect. And then even, like, the rest... I'm going to be real, like... Can I just keep it a buck? I won't really hear for that character of Slug, I think was his name. I am who I am. So I really won't hear for it, but I was like, yo, like, okay. they're not doing too much. Because, like, typically, the reason why I'm using that here for it, because they, like, tend to do a little bit too much, like, make that the focus of the shit, right? But they didn't. He's just a regular person, just like in real life. I would fuck with him in real life. Like, he's just a real person in real life, bro. Or they are. So, like, that to me was refreshing to see because they handled it well. And those characters were allowed, were able to breathe. Like, I was able to fuck with those, like, villain characters as time went on. Even Clown was crazy, but I kind of fucked with her because she's a psycho chick. Like, bro, like, we all know that psycho chick like Clown. Like, she's a psycho chick that just knows how to blow shit up. So I fucked with that. I knew Natalie was coming because I'm more familiar with Ironheart. I do like how they did the story around it. Like, around Natalie, how they made the AI come out, how she couldn't get her back. I like that. I like the magic that they put in there, not just with Mephisto, but a whole black girl that was doing with the magic too. And I feel bad for forgetting her name. I should have looked her name up in the joint before it started. Golly, and she ain't even on this joint. Where's her name? Ironheart be the regular. Yo, they don't have these people's names on there. Was it Kylie? What was her name? Was it Ronnie? It was Ronnie. No. Ronnie Williams was her mom. Slug was fun. Thank you, chilling in the basement. What was old girl's name? Zelma. Even having Zelma in there doing actual magic. Like, I loved how they kind of teased that at the beginning of the show when Zelma's mom was in there talking about the stones and stuff. They was doing the sage. I was wondering where they was going with that, but that's like, it was a little bit of the beauty of the MCU that, you know, we talked about missing in the show, right? Because, like, if it was like Winter Soldier or something, Winter Soldier, Secret Invasion, She-Hulk, if it was like those other shows, Zelma wouldn't have done what she did. They would have used like the sage or some shit, like, to actually, you know, been the most magical stuff that Riri's side got, right? But the fact that they decided to go there with Zelma, and the fact that Zelma was willing to do that dark magic like that the way that she did, not Zelma. The fact that she was willing to do the black magic like the way that she did, like, yo, I fucked with that. And Magic Girl was low-key fine. That was she your type chilling? She your type chilling? Selma, not Velma. I would have been game for a Strange Academy show. I don't think so. Now, that being said, when you think about it, I don't think that show would have been for me, but I still would have watched it. And if they did that show like Miss Marvel or something, it would have been more. But, and again, like you said, it did make it help it feel more connected to the MCU. This was the most MCU feeling show that we've gotten in a while. And like, it just worked. Like, the magic aspect worked of it. The magic and technology, her using that dark magic to fuel her suit. I do think that was a ramped up part of the finale. Like, I don't think the weight of that was actually portrayed on screen the way that it should have been, right? But I think the whole fight of what she did, like the fight of how she defeated the Hood, the sound effects of how she defeated the Hood and everything like that, you know, taking the Hood off of him and him going, like, I think all of that was done beautifully and really helped cap the show off. I don't think by any means the show was a perfect show. That's why it gets a 7. But I think this show was a good show. I'm going to go down the list of shows that just came out that's better than. It's better than Daredevil Born Again. 100% better than Daredevil Born Again. Finale of Daredevil Born Again gave us things we wanted to see, but the season as a whole was ass. Like, so to me, like, the finale was better than Daredevil Born Again. It was better than Echo. It was better than it wasn't better than X-Men 97. It wasn't better than that. It was better than it wasn't as good as Loki season 2. It wasn't as good as Loki season 2. I'm not gonna give it that. But it was better than Moon Knight. It was better than Moon Knight. I tell you that. So look, this show to me, I absolutely like it. It worked for so many different reasons. Way better than She-Hulk. Better than I think it's better than Winter Soldier. Simply because the finale of Winter Soldier broke me, bro. If Winter Soldier, like y'all know how I feel about Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier could have been, despite Anthony Mackie, it could have been a top tier show, bro. If it weren't for that finale. And the fact that everybody ran away from every fight. And the fact that Sam never beat anybody. But, yeah. Ironheart definitely better show than that shit. Better show than Hawkeye. It's a better show than Hawkeye. Like, bro, Ironheart. Let me look at these show lists real quick. Chat, am I sizing? Like, if you've seen the show, like, am I sizing? And I know the bar is not high. Like, it's not better than Loki. It's not better than WandaVision. Am I sizing? Episode, all right, Justin, the finale and the pre-finale, in this episode before the finale. But I was still fucking with the show, giving it a chance, though. Hold on. MCU, Disney Plus shows in order. All right, let me run it down for you real quick. Uptown Rundown. All right. It's not better than Agatha. Thank you. No, I don't. Because Agatha like had like 2-3 great episodes. I don't think it's better than Agatha. But I think they're like damn near neck and neck. Like, cause I think I would give Agatha like a 7.5. And you know I hate them 7.5s. Y'all know I hate them 7.5s. But yeah, She-Hulk. Better than She-Hulk. Better than Miss Marvel. Better than Hawkeye. Better than Moon Knight. Better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Hawkeye, don't get me wrong. Hawkeye is not a 4. It's more like a 6 for me. But Hawkeye is still... I think the thing with Hawkeye, even though it had an Avenger, it just didn't feel heavily MCU like this did. Ironheart felt very MCU for me, bro. Let me know, chat. Like, do y'all agree? Like, Ironheart felt very MCU in the movie. And I think the reason why is this, and I'll get into it. Look, I'll knock out this point before I go dark again, because I'm going to go dark again on this shit. If you thought I went dark on, like, Recast a Child, and what's crazy, it's not even dark. It's passionately light. I'm going to go passionately light side on this shit. All right? I'm going to go passionately light side on this shit. All right, but before I do that, like I said, this show's a 7 to me. I think part of the success of this show and why this show feels more MCU is because it followed the fucking formula. It followed the fucking formula of you got your character in the movie, and you may be intrigued to see more of that character, and you got it in the show. That's what I always wanted, and what I always envisioned with these shows was that, like, the people that we see in the movies would subsequently, like, we see a side quest in the show that's like essential to their character development, but not essential to them overall arcing story in the MCU, right? That's what I was looking for. That's what I was expecting from these shows. And I think that's what this show actually tapped into. Now, can I be real? What this show, I think, helped me realize is that the problem with Marvel shows is that the way they try to pull the superhero genre off is very mass appeal with Marvel. When you think about shows, even your most popular shows, all-time great shows, they are very niched. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, as huge as that is very niche to the black community. And then even then, it's niched down within the black community to where a lot of older black folk at that time didn't watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because it's more targeted to the young community. But it was so huge because that niche went hard for it. Game of Thrones, a lot of people, if you put 10 people in a room, 1 out of 10 might have watched 2 out of 10 maybe, might have watched Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, very niche. But the thing is, it's easy access to the niche, right? Like, shows are very niche. The Office, one of my favorite shows. It's not a lot of people that I know watch The Office personally, but I know it's a huge watch. Like, I know it's a heavily watched show. Shows are very niche, especially comedy shows. Even when you look at, like, the fantasy niche with, like, Game of Thrones and Wheels of Time, they're both in the fantasy world, but there's not a lot of fan crossover between the two because they are so very even niched within the sci-fi genre. Very niche. I think that's a problem with the MCU. And I don't, just based on recent news, I don't think they're going to get around to fixing it, or even have the patience to really try and fix it, or even really probably even care to fix it. I don't know, but the key to these shows is being able to hit a niche. Not enough people got into Wheels of Time hits cancellation, right? Like, I think a lot of, and again, this is not to touch on the quality per se, because I think quality trumps all. I think quality trumps all. But they're not hitting their niches right. Like, I think when you go to the movies, there's a limited selection in the movies, and people go to the movie going experience, and also as well, you have more time in one project to where you can kind of do a more broad brush stroke, like a broad paint brush stroke, right? Like, you can hit a much broader audience with that than you can with the show. You can get more people with a movie to come in and see the movie just because there's limited selection and there's more of the attraction and the events of going to the movies, and it's a different viewing experience than having to spend these hours in a show where it has to be a lot more niched down. Has to be a lot more niched down. And I think that's what Marvel's lacking. When you look at some of your most successful shows out there, they're adult, they're mature. They either have an intense mystery, a very intense mystery, or B, they're violent. Chat, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Like, the best shows out there, put them out. Like, give me the best, biggest shows out there. Even when it comes to fucking boring ass White Lotus, people love it because of the intrigue, anticipation that's there. It's very fucking niche, but it hits that niche. People who like this show with Joe on Netflix, whatever. The Boys. The Boys is very niche. It's very successful. It's very successful, but it hits that violence and maturity, that niche. People in the superhero, like that niche is hitting. It's not broad stroke. It's very niche. Invincible, same way. Same way. Marvel hasn't done that. Marvel is very broad stroke. Daredevil was very like, it had its own niche collaborative. Like, I've tried to tell people all the time, the Netflix numbers show Daredevil was never fucking big, bro. Daredevil was never fucking big. People think they know everything, but Daredevil was never fucking big. Like, believe me, it wasn't. It really wasn't even that great of a fucking show for me. Like, this shit was boring as fuck until you got to the amazing fight scene that you got once every episode. Hello? And don't let the nostalgia fool you. I was in there bored as fuck for the most part through most of the episodes until we got to the fucking fight scene. So yeah, that's I think that's part of the MCU show's problem. Now, that soliloquy is over. Let's get back to what we're talking about with Ironheart and what we've been seeing. Because honestly, this is another thing that's been grinding my gears since I've been out the loop, bro. Since I've been out the streaming era. Since I've not been in my streaming bag. Since we've not been in the dojo. People have been running rampant talking about Ironheart. And it's honestly like ticking me off and pissing me off, bro. People who've never seen Ironheart are being swayed by headlines. You want to talk about clickbait? You want to talk about reading headlines and not reading the full article? You want to talk about reading headlines and not reading the full fucking article? That's what people have been doing with Ironheart. I guarantee you, if you put out a random poll saying, what's going on, Dr. Dan? If you put out a random poll saying, does Ironheart shit on Iron Man's legacy? Is Ironheart woke? Is Ironheart trash? That would be about 70% in that random poll, right? Then if you ask those 70% of those people if they actually watched the show, I feel like from that 70%, probably about 60% or more would say, nah, they didn't watch the show. Probably more. And under that 60%, you want to ask them how they came to that conclusion. Majority of them probably say because of clips, either clips we see in their TikTok or it's just Marvel trash. And this is where I want to stop on the shit, because there's multiple instances where, like, bro, did I miss something? Did I miss where Ironheart shits on Tony Stark? Where Riri goes in on Tony Stark's legacy? Please, in the chat, let me know what part, timestamp me, put quotes in there, something of where she actually craps on Iron Man. Because if you're thinking her in the first part saying, I'm going to be bigger than Bill Gates, I'm going to be bigger than Steve Jobs, Tony Stark, Pym, if you think that is crapping on somebody's legacy, walk outside and actually talk to some people outside of your fucking circle. Because talk to somebody with ambition. Talk to somebody who's up and coming. Talk to somebody with potential. Because I done said that many a times, and I'm not even as smart as Riri Williams was, or even high up on that pedestal of what I was doing as Riri Williams was. I done said that plenty of times as a youngin'. Yo, I'm gonna be better than Steve Madden. I'm gonna be a better running back than Eddie George. If you making music, I'm gonna be a better rapper than Rain. I'm gonna be bigger than Drake. I'm gonna be bigger than Hove. I'm gonna be bigger than Nas. People say that all the time, and that's not the shit on those people. That's not shitting on those people. In fact, that's the opposite. That's giving them respect. That's putting them on a pedestal to say, you're something I wanted to strive to reach to and be better than. That's not tearing these people down. Learn the fucking world. Or better yet, watch an entire show before you form an opinion based off of a clip. Based off of a clip. Chat. People out here forming opinions based off clips. Another example. Look, these are the only things I have to go off of because, to be quite frank, I don't really know what everybody is basing their stuff off of. I really don't know what everybody is basing their stuff off of. Look, I'm the type of person, what's going on there, Mafia? I'm the type of person that called a spade spade. If they were shitting on the legacy, I really would have something to say about that. I wouldn't ignore that shit. But is this shit on Tony Stark's legacy? Because she points out the fact that he had billions to make his inventions, that he had the resources and she doesn't? Because she's stating facts? That's tearing down Tony Stark's legacy? Come on now. Come on now. You're picking for apples. And the apple you done picked ain't a goddamn apple. It's not. Let me tell you the truth about that. I didn't think it was that exclusive to a certain culture or that exclusive to certain people in certain situations. That's how you talk when you're talking with your friends. But we all know those people that have been balling. We all know those people that was 5'9" in high school that was the best hooper on the squad, but they ain't get no D1 offers. They ain't make it to the league. They 5'9". But they got all the talent in the world, but their resource of being 6'4" ain't there, right? Y'all know those people. Y'all know those people. What they say? Man, if I was 6'3", I'd be in the league. If I was 6'4", I'd be in the league. 6'5", man, I'd be balling in the league. I'd be LeBron James right now if I was there. I'd be Kobe Bryant if I was there. Man, if I was up there, I'd be yamming on all of them. That's what we say and do. That's what we say and do. And that's exactly what she said. She didn't say the money made Tony Stark. She said he had the resources to be able to pull off his genius stuff. Like, that's exactly what she was alluding to. That's exactly what she was alluding to. Like, to me, it's idiotic. It's like, it's dumb. It's dumb. And to side with those people that's like, to side with that without watching the show, again, if you don't want to watch the show, that's cool. If you don't want to watch Ironheart, for whatever reason, that's your prerogative. That's fucking cool. But don't come out here and have takes and talk shit and talk down on things when you hadn't even watched the show. When you hadn't even watched the fucking show. And you don't even know the context. You're just reading headlines and not reading the article. You're just reading headlines and not reading the article, bro. There's no place that Ironheart shits on Iron Man's legacy. And to put the bow on the ribbon, the reason why she's Ironheart in the first place, why she wanted to make the suit in the first place, is because her dad, her stepdad, was a huge Iron Man fan. That sparked that into that sparked that in the first place. Is that her dad was a huge Iron Man fan, bro. Come on, miss me with this bullshit, bro. Everybody can miss me with that bullshit. And you're just ducking behind the guise of saying things are too woke or that it shits on the legacy to prove a point, right? Like I don't even get the point of like trying to prove that, bro. Like I don't even get the point of trying to say that's the case. When one, if you don't watch the show, and then two, if you don't watch the show, how do you know? How can you form that opinion? Unless you're ascribing to this whole race baiting thing that they're trying to bait you with. And if you throw out an opinion without watching the show, you've been baited. You took the bait. You took the bait. And I'm just here to reel you in. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Are we good, chat? Chat, are we good? Did I lose anything? Okay, we good. We good. I don't know. Chat just my everything just dropped down to 0 people here. I was like, yo, we good? We good? Did I scare y'all off? Because I'm speaking so much facts? But we good. We good. We good. All right, cool. YouTube just tripping because it said 0. I'm like, yo, damn, everybody just ran away from the straight facts. But look, all that said though, yeah, Ironheart's fucking solid. I'll be here to defend it. I mean, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. We got people out here accepting Daredevil, but shitting on Ironheart without even watching it. This shit crazy to me, fam. That shit crazy to me, fam. That shit just fucking crazy to me. Again, if you don't want to watch the shit, go. Just don't shit on it. Just don't fucking shit on it. But hey, that is what it is. That is what it is, chat. Let me know in the comments. Again, just like it was with the Black Panther joint. Am I out of pocket? Am I out of pocket? Look, maybe I need to stream. Maybe I need to stream more often so I'm not like popping off like this. Because there's been so much shit I've been wanting to pop off on, but I just ain't had the time to hop in the fucking dojo. But let me know in the chat. Leave me out of this Justin 5'9". But hey, yo, we kings, bro. It's all good. It's all good. We're kings, bro. It was all right. I wasn't over the moon, but wasn't mad. Hey. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the show to me was a 7. And when you talk about the niche thing, what's going on, C-Dub? When you talk about, like, again, the niche, I think the niche was black code. Like, to be real, it was for me. It was for me. It's for my cousin. It's for my brothers. My auntie. It was for that niche that we was talking about. That niche. They tried to hit that black niche beat. So, like, believe me, I understand, like, if it won't for you. Even if you black, I understand if it ain't hit the way it should have hit. Like the way it hit me, like, because, like, again, there's niches in that shit. Like, we ain't no monolith. But it was a targeted audience, and hey, that makes sense. Like, there's things in there that I would appreciate more than somebody else from a different culture would. That would make me give it a better shape. You know what I mean? That made me give it a better score. But there are some undeniable things, like just putting the chat there. It was better than She-Hulk. That's under-fucking-niable. That's undeniable. It was better than Secret Invasion. That's undeniable. To me, it's undeniable that it was better than fucking Daredevil. Like, to me, though. To me, it was undeniably better than Daredevil. If somebody wants to argue that Daredevil was better, I'd take that. But hey, that's enough of soapbox cunch. That's enough of soapbox cunch. Let's get into some actual good talk here. Let's get into some actual good talk. Hold on, let me check my Discord real quick. Hold on. Hold on. Justin, check your Discord. But oh shit. Okay. Word. Yeah, I ain't gonna say shit. I ain't gonna say shit. I ain't gonna say shit. Hey, um, look, let's get into this Fantastic Four. Put Marvel up until Fantastic Four is kind of feeling like no, we're not doing it. Fantastic Four. I'm really looking forward to Fantastic Four. I'm going to go see Fantastic Four in IMAX. I am extremely excited for Fantastic Four. Um, one, dude. All right, Galactus. I think is one of the big like. Aside from the multiverse shit, like I know we're gonna get some multiverse shit in there for Doomsday, but I think one of the biggest keys is what Galactus is actually going to be after. I know he's after Franklin Richards, but I also think he's coming after Earth. Like I don't think he's going to be coming to Earth for Franklin Richards at first, but I do think he's going to be coming to Earth. Um, okay, fuck what Justin just sent me. When some shit like that happens, let me know, Justin, because you know I told you the situation where it was. So yeah, let me know. Let me know if I miss a big bomb like that this week. What up, Lou? What it do, Lou? What's up? But look, Fantastic Four. I'm very excited to see what Galactus could be doing here. Like we've seen the shots of Galactus eating Earths, and to me, I just want to throw off a little bit of theory before we get out of here because I gotta be real. NCAA dropped. I'm trying to get my motherfucker to college. I'm starting off as an underdog. I'm getting him like I'm starting off as underdog 2-star. I'm getting him to that 5-star. Something Justin couldn't do. I'm going to do that though. But look, okay. Context key. Thank you, Justin. Um, Oh, you like that? You make you feel good. Or something that make you feel good. I'm playing. Pause. You got to get UConn to that national championship. Hey, I feel you. I feel you. That's not me. I'm playing for Virginia Tech. I'm going to at least play my freshman year. Last year I played the ODU. I hated it. I went to ODU. I played the ODU. I hated it. This year I'm going to play at least one season at Virginia Tech because you know I'm from VA. Never really been a big Tech fan, but I've always loved the atmosphere. I've always loved Michael Vick, and you know I'm about to be pulling up as a quarterback with my son. As you know, I'm making my son. He's gonna be the quarterback there. Um, we spending 1 year at Tech. We spending the freshman year at Tech, and we running out to Into the Sandman 6 times in our career, and then we bouncing. We transferring out the portal. Boom, going out, going elsewhere. But look, yeah, man, I'm excited for that stuff. But look, when it comes to Fantastic Four, I'm getting on track. When it comes to Fantastic Four and what Galactus is going to be doing, we all know Galactus is coming for Earth, and what you know what's inside of Earth and what's inside of these planets from Eternals is you got these celestial X's put in there in the cosmic energy they have there. Now, what Celestials use in the MCU, what Celestials are responsible for, is creating new universes, right? They didn't clarify whether they create new timelines. I do think it's just new universes within one world. But if they have the power and the energy to create new universes within a world, which I think Galactus is going to initially do, I think he's going after those, trying to harvest the energy of these celestial eggs to have the energy to create a new universe, to recreate his universe. That's been a long going rumor. I think that is something that's going to come into play here, to where he's trying to harvest his energy to boom, create that new universe like they did in the movie on Eternals, where they're just holding the universe in their hand and that shit's just spinning around, and they got that going on. Now, from there, I think we can really tie in some stuff with that energy being used with Franklin Richards. Like I said, I think the seed is being planted here as like in this movie. One seed will be planted as to how the universe will get rebooted, right? Like I think we'll really hear something about like universe destruction, whether it's the incursions or whether it's just the destruction of the entire previous multiverse, like the form. I don't know how far we're going to get with that, but I think Galactus could be the best way to move that story forward. Maybe Galactus comes from a previous firmament. Maybe Galactus is just from a previous universe that's destroyed and he's just trying to create one. Like, who knows? But I love the idea of him actually trying to harvest these planets, eggs out of them, like the celestial eggs inside of the planets, trying to harvest them out so that he can take that celestial energy and create his own universe, create his own multiverse, right? Like, that's something I definitely look forward to seeing him do. And dude, I'm fucking hyped for Fantastic Four. W's in the chat for Fantastic Four if you're looking forward to Fantastic Four. Like, I was always going to see Fantastic Four over Superman, but after that final trailer, I've always been team Andrew Lincoln for Reed, and I still think he would have made a great Reed. But seeing how they made this Reed move, nobody has said this. Everybody has talked about the inertia and all that stuff of how Reed moves. Yeah, that's cool, Bird. That's cool. Yeah, I want to see that. But I'm also not going to cry if it's the son of T'Challa. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it, Bird. And then say if you want to say dope stream. Go back and watch it. And I'm very much recast T'Challa, but I also very much respect their decision to have the son of T'Challa. But yo, anyway, let me move on. I'm not regressing back into that shit. But yo, nobody has said this, but the way that they have Reed moving with his powers looks a lot fucking like Elastigirl. All right? I know this is gonna sound wild because I'm lasting like Elastigirl. My wife upstairs, but Elastigirl, like, yo. You know what I mean? But he moves a lot like Elastigirl. He moves like the inertia, the way they got like his skin, like his arm going out the way it does. That looked just like a moment where Elastigirl landed on the platform in Incredibles. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Like the way they use his leg, Elastigirl been doing that since 2005. B, whenever that movie came out, Elastigirl been doing that since then. She's been using her leg to catch that momentum. She's been stretching like that for ages. And I think it's slept on, and it's a shame I didn't realize it now. She has the best depiction of those powers in movies. She has that best depiction of those powers in movies. And I look forward to seeing that in live action when it comes to Reed, because I think they did. To me, it's like one-on-one matches. They mirrored that shit. And like the attention to detail they put into this movie, whether it comes to Julia Gardner as a Shia LaBeouf, whether it comes to the attention that they put into Galactus' suit, right? Like all that stuff combined, to me, makes this movie that makes me think this movie is going to be a banger. Makes me think this movie is going to slap. The chemistry between the team. Fantastic Four, to me, it could have been a perfect reboot movie. Like if you told me after Endgame, you just wanted to cut it off after Endgame, right? And we was done. And you're rebooting a new universe with whole new people. Fantastic Four looks like it could have been a movie to start off that whole new universe. Like imagine that. That would probably really be Fantastic Four would really probably be a 1.5 billion movie, probably a 2 billion movie, if it was standalone, new MCU, nothing to do with what's going on. Because dog, this movie from the trailers just looks phenomenal, bro. Looks phenomenal. It looks like they found the match of great looking storytelling and movie and superhero. It looks like they found it at that one. Reminds me a lot of what just quality wise, it reminds me a lot of what Thunderbolts looks like quality wise, but just next level implications. So for that reason, like I'm extremely hyped for Fantastic Four. I think it's gonna wax the floor with Superman. You wanna know why? Fantastic Four got 2 more weeks to come out. And here's why I'm not seeing Superman. I think the power, and again, I think the power of these movies are in millennials. I do think Gen Z has a lot of buying power in these movies. Like when you look at what happened with Chicken Jockey and shit. But I also think millennials have a huge part to play in that too, because as a millennial parent, and as I see when I go to these movies with other millennial parents and their kids there, I think us millennials find going to the movies nostalgic, find us going to the movies something that's worth keeping, and find us going to the movies worth passing on to our children. Nothing makes me happier than seeing my daughter want to go to the movies and eat popcorn, and we eating popcorn together, bro. Like, that brings back feels. I feel like I'm doing a rite of passage. And I really think other millennials feel the same way about taking their kids to the movies. That's why you get a whole bunch of Lilo and Stitch going ham. That's why you get a whole bunch of kids movies making, but Moana too. You know, all these kids movies, Inside Out too, making buku bucks in theaters. And that's why kids movies have been untouched. Is because us millennial parents want our kids to do that. So, like, you know, they're saying the movie industry might die in 20 years or whatever. I don't know if I would necessarily agree with that, because by then, like, our kids are, like, going to do the same shit. Like, facts. Like, I think our kids want us to take them to the movies, bro. Because we love going to the movies. It's like that shit, like, fucking NASCAR, where people be like, yeah, me and my dad used to always go to the NASCAR race, and then, you know, it's just like they're not talking to each other, but they always just enjoy that time. I think it's the same fucking thing, bro. I think it's the same thing. So, that being said, like, I do think Fantastic Four could be that. I think Fantastic Four could be that thing that millennial, like, that just saves the shit, bro. That just saves the shit from Marvel. Now box office projection numbers, like opening weekend, I haven't really looked into them articles. I do think it's gonna, like, crush whatever Superman did. Oh, here's my point of why I was going to that, though. The whole reason why I went on that little tangent is because the reason why I'm not going to go see Superman this weekend, and I would, like, don't get me wrong, I would really like to, because I see their office, like, talking about, what do you say? What are you saying there? It's like, damn, skipping soups. I am skipping soups this weekend. You wanna know why? Like, I might get to go, like, I really don't know when I get to go see it, to keep it a buck. Because in 2 weeks, I'm trying to go see Fantastic Four. I got 3 kids, dog. They ain't old enough to go see that movie. Either Superman or Fantastic Four. And I'm a good dad, a good husband. And, you know, I don't necessarily like to leave my wife here. Like, if my youngest kid was older, maybe. But I don't necessarily like to leave my wife here. Don't say that. Don't say 3 kids, damn. Don't say that. But I don't like to leave my wife here with, like, all 3 kids. So, of course, I'm going to go see one movie this month. And you're damn straight, as much as I would have liked to go see Jurassic World. I would like to go see, Jurassic World Rebirth. I would like to go see Superman next week. But if I got to have my first choice, and that's why these polls are so important, for the month, I'm choosing Fantastic Four. And I think that's a lot of people. Now, here's the thing. The box office projections looking worse and worse for Superman. And I feel like that's a lot due to the fact that people went to go see, what's it called? Jurassic World. A lot of people went to go see Jurassic World. Going to the movies back-to-back weekends, like, it's not for the norms. It's not like it's not something that a lot of people want to do. You got, like, people like, you know, you got people like Green Bear. You got folks like Nerd Mafia. You got folks like, I know people at work that's got the Fandango pass, whatever. Like, people that got the time, they will go do both. But a mass majority of folks, they ain't going 2 weekends back to back. And there's the thing. That's where it's fucked up. Because even if it was like, well, if the typical answer was, well, I'm not going to go see Superman opening weekend, I'll just go see it the next weekend. Because then one friend and their friend are going to be like, well, that's not going to work, because really on the 25th, I was going to go see the opening weekend of Fantastic Four. And the Fantastic Four gets some views on the opening box office. And I think that's how Fantastic Four wins at least the openings. Has a bigger opening than Superman. Superman is gonna have to like really shock me for it to like skyrocket with word of mouth. I'm gonna be real. It's gonna have to really shock me. I'm gonna be real. Like I'm down to see it. I'm always down for content. Always down for content. But that Superman don't look good to me. Like, it doesn't look like a good Superman movie. Like, I'm just keeping it real. Like, it doesn't look like a good Superman movie. Eyes up here. Like, bro, like, the fuck? I don't know if it's already rented in pre-sales, but you know what? I know the box office tracking numbers look pretty bad for opening weekend. I don't know if it's winning pre-sales, but you know, it's got like a 2. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't come out for another 2 weeks. I ain't even bought my Fantastic Four ticket. Not the king of the bitch. But yeah, like, again, and then even the Kevin Feige move, the Kevin Feige move of having the review embargo from fucking fans of the MCU. They're gonna have a review embargo drop on the 8th, right when the review embargo drops for Superman. Like, bro, like, nobody's gonna care that it's critics or whatever versus fans. Like, nobody's gonna care about that, bro. And like, it's just gonna be a W for Fantastic Four. It's just gonna be a W for Fantastic Four. So, hey man, look. To me, it's up for Fantastic Four. To the moon. I think I would not be surprised if it makes $1 billion. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't make $1 billion. To be honest, I just really. It depends. Like, I don't know what it's going to take for people to be like, the MCU's back. Like, I think that's really like the only way this movie pops off is that the mass consensus is like the MCU is back. Best MCU movie since Spider-Man No Way Home. If like those things come out like best MCU movie since Spider-Man No Way Home, like they can't do like the best thing since Thunderbolts because nobody fucking seen Thunderbolts. Like they had to go like best movie since since No Way Home. They had to say things like group movie since Avengers Endgame. Like these things had to be like out not from critics but by words of mouth after the opening weekend. It's a three-peat of sorts. Fantastic Four, Spidey, Doomsday have to hit. It does. And I think like, so if you get Fantastic Four leaning to Spidey, and then you get Doomsday, and I think there's maybe a secret movie either in Doomsday or between Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. If you have those three movies like hit, the Secret Wars movie is gonna make like 1.75. Like that, like we're gonna be right back at the pinnacle. Because let's be real, it only took Civil War to really ramp shit up to Endgame. I mean to Infinity War, right? Like, bro, when Civil War came, let's be real. When Civil War came, it was Civil War, Black Panther, then Infinity War. Those joints is what made Marvel skyrocket to Endgame. Those joints is what made Captain Marvel get as much bread. And it didn't really work as well when it came to Ant-Man and the Wasp. It didn't really work as well because the movie was trash. But the character's trash. Franchise is trash. Ant-Man, franchise trash. But that's neither here nor there. It doesn't take much to get the hype train rolling, bro. It doesn't take much to get the hype train rolling. That's all I'm going to say. And even like box office success ain't even really a key because even like when you look at like Rebirth, breath of fresh air with Rebirth, like people like, oh shit, ScarJo. I don't even like, bro. What made Rebirth make $300 million? I think that's going to be $1 million question. What made Rebirth make $300 million off of a franchise that feels kind of dormant? But look, all it takes is like 1 or 2 movies in the franchise for that joint to elevate, for it to be like, boom, box office hit in pop culture. Like that's all it, like we're seeing that. Like that's all it takes is a little bit of momentum. Of course, you got your anomalies, like Minecraft, like whatever. Dinosaurs too. What up, Justin Towns? Dinosaurs too. Dinosaurs too. Um, but yeah, I'm I'm very bullish on fucking Fantastic Four. Very bullish on Fantastic Four. But look, chat, I'm gonna hang out for like 5 more minutes. Let me know in the chat what you gotta say. If you excited I'm back streaming, you wanna let me know, let me know you wanna cry about how I ain't been here, and wanna cry about how I'm probably not gonna be back next week or the week after that. Or the week after that, you know what I mean? Because I just got a lot of shit going on. So but nah, eventually there is light at the end of the tunnel. If all things work out, like if all things truly work out, like in January, like I would really be able to like lock back in on like streams and stuff like that. But really, like even when making the short content, like it's hard. It's hard to be consistent at that right now, especially with the content not really being what it should have been. Like when I started off making shorts, I had a whole like catalog of content to really dive into and to dive into what's coming up with Kane. That hasn't really been here yet. I think Fantastic Four is going to give us a lot of that. But also as well, like at the Doomsday, like at the Superman and Doomsday and stuff like that, like there's just going to be a lot of content that can be made, especially like with my shorts. I don't know if I ever be in the time and the space to make videos unless like my shorts start to pop and I can bring on the editor. I fucking hate editing, so I'm not gonna edit a fucking. I'm just not gonna do it. And my shorts can take off and get fucking as many views as it makes. I'm not fucking like I'm not gonna make a video. What I can do though, what I will do like later on, like next year, I clip these fucking clips out from the stream and do that. But I'm not making a fucking video. I don't have on shorts, so my pants are staying on. But yeah, I'm not gonna be here next. I'm not gonna make a promise that I'm gonna be here next week, unfortunately. Or the week after that. I'm gonna be here when I can be here. Look, would y'all be all right? Like it's 11:15 now. Like, would y'all be cool if like I popped on stream at like 10:30, 11 o'clock randomly at night? You know what I mean? That work for y'all? Because I mean that's very viable and doable. Like, I just pop on and yap like I did today. Just pop on and yap like I did today. But yeah, I got 3 minutes. Like I said, I gotta dive into this NCAA, bro. I gotta get my 2-star to a 5-star. Man. Like, fam, I've been waiting all day. I've been itching all day. And the only thing I've been able to do is just turn the bitch on. I just been able to turn the bitch on. Kids are asleep and wife soon to be. Yeah, bro. Stream the game, bro. I don't have that set up yet. I would love to stream the game. But I don't have that set up yet. I would love to stream Marvel Rivals. I'm an awesome Marvel Rivals player. I did see Team Builder is down. Team Builder is down until the launch. So I'm not putting in my high school. I'm just rocking. I guess so like I'm making my oldest son first. So I guess my youngest son will get to play in my high school. Finish JP. But yeah, like I would stream because like I would definitely stream Marvel Rivals. Just knows like I'm an amazing Marvel Rivals player. I play really well with Star-Lord. I'm a Lord Star-Lord. Like I actually am a Lord Star-Lord. Like don't get it fucked up. I'm an actual Lord Star-Lord. Ever since I got this new mouse, because Justin told me I was like, this was the mouse I was using right here. So this is the mouse I'm using now. As you see, I can do my DPS settings on that shit and everything. Got my weights on it. My aim has gotten better. I ranked up the gold all on my own with no help from Justin. I'm fucking I should be streaming Rivals. Like, I like when I play Rivals, I talk good shit. Like I'm a good shit talker when I play Rivals. I'm very entertaining to my teammates when I play Rivals. I would love to stream some Rivals in here with y'all and get that 1v1 in with Justin, because I mean to be real, Justin's fucking nice at Rivals. Like he's legit. Like Justin's nice at Rivals. But like I was I'd be talking shit, got myself in a little bit of one-on-one matchup type shit. And to be real, like for a little while I was like, I got trained a little bit. Like I don't really feel like I could take him. You know what I mean? I don't really feel like I could take him on like that. You did help me get out of bronze, but then I went back to bronze. That's what I mean. Yeah, because you know how the Marvel shit can do. Like, yeah, they put me back in bronze type shit. But then I got back to gold. So yeah, like you did help me get to the upper levels of bronze or whatever. Um, but yeah, like I'm fucking nice. Like I'm ready for that 1v1 with Justin because like you know what I mean. Last time we played like the Doom match, I was clapping. All right, we back. I was spitting so much real shit, it couldn't handle it. I was spitting so much real shit, YouTube couldn't handle it, bro. We back. I was spitting so much real shit, YouTube couldn't handle it. But yeah, and that's the 5 minutes, so it told me to go ahead and quit the yapping. But nah, like I said, look, I appreciate y'all sliding through. Daniel Hossie, Justin Lou, Dan the Man, my man's Griff, Justin Towns, Green Beezy, Bird. I hope you went back at the beginning of the stream and watch the shit because I went off on your ass. Not you. Chilling in the basement. Yo, Benjamin Grimm. Hit that Benjamin button, my mans. Daniel Ha, the jalapeno man. Jedi Might also always as well. Pleasure having all y'all in the building. You like the new setup? I like the new setup. I'm not in my fucking corner no more. You know, I turned it around because here's the thing. My whole time having this basement and streaming, my wife has had this idea of this not just being my fucking space. But I grew up with a basement. She didn't grow up with a basement. She grew up in a nice house, but she didn't have no basement. I grew up with a basement to know women don't go in basements. Women do not spend time in basements. They'll go down to a basement every once in a while, but women do not spend time in basements. That's why children be in the basement, because a woman don't be down there. Like just to keep it a buck. Kids don't either. Kids don't like being in basements either. It be cold down here. It's no big windows down here. I got kid shit on this side. I'm like, you know what? I can make the kid shit that side, whatever. Damn, don't fall on me, baby. I can make kid like, you know what I mean? Like I was like, yeah, I could have the kid shit do this shit over there. Which, by the way, like when this shit done, like I'm not like this shit is like actually gonna be filled out and like look nice with the TV in the background and shit, and like shit built around when I got time to get to it, which will be next year, cause I'm claiming it in the name of God. I know I've been cussing, but I've been going through a spiritual like journey myself through these last few months. And it's been amazing. And I'm in a great place and a great space in my faith and with God. And I know I've been cussing a lot because I've been like just letting it fly, which I've really probably got to work on because I want like the life that I'm working to live to be reflective in these like streams that I do too. In every facet of my life, give that the territory and the praise. So that's what I'm doing now, you know. But anyway, claiming that in January, like that shit like comes through. Yeah, this whole shit look different. And I like, yeah, I fuck with the setup. Yeah. My basement growing up was storage, so I didn't have that set up either. Hey, like that's ultimately what it was becoming. And the thing that prevented me from turning it around was storage. But I took one day and cleared like half of this shit out, bro. I cleared half of this shit out. Girl, I have one girl, my oldest girl, bro. She plays Roblox. I'm probably gonna start streaming, bro. Like, to be real, it's cool. Like, I put Roblox on she's been playing on her iPad. I put it on my computer, and she's been playing. She's a very much talker like me. If you don't know, I went to school to be a talker. I was a professional talker, and I talk a lot now. And she's a professional, outgoing, beautiful facially, beautiful in the inside, beautiful spirit, soul. And when she plays Roblox, she actually be talking like the streamers. And she has such a cute little voice when she does it. She really matches like that energy of what they could have. I've been apprehensive about it. Like it might be a me and her stream. And like I've been apprehensive because like, all right, I might have her stream from now until she's like fucking 13 and that's just done. Because I don't necessarily want her to be in the content creating space and social media. Like I like that famous space shit. I just want to get something to like establish her talent and establish her talent and establish knowledge of what you're doing in the area and establish some bread so you can use that to set your own self up so you don't have to do this content grind shit because this shit has ebbs and flows and it's not gonna work forever. So yeah, I look for like if I do make videos, that'd be the videos I make. Like, you know, she be playing Roblox, we going to tennis lessons. She's just a very good soul and I think she do good at streaming. So yeah, that's just a little random thing. You brought up girl there. It's like, yeah, I see a lot of my personality, and I'm an introvert though. So I see a lot of my outroverted person. Like I see a lot of my talking personality in her. You know what I mean? A lot of my like communication personality. But then I see a lot of her mom's like outgoing friendship personality that her mom can have. That I really don't have. Like I'm very introverted when it comes to meeting new people. Even when I meet new people, like I'm just not like I'm not somebody who like I don't really fucking care and I don't know how to act like I do. You know what I mean? Like if I care to get to know somebody, like I can talk my ass off. Like if I actually care and I'm intrigued, I can do that. But I'm not the type of person that's like just to be networking, I'm gonna ask you certain questions and shit. I'm not gonna be doing that game unless I'm actually like fucking interested. And I don't know about her, she might just be interested in everybody, bro. Like my daughter might just be interested in everybody, but she can never meet a fucking stranger. She'll play with new kids at fucking Chick-fil-A and bring them in, and then my son will be the same way. Be like, hey, like my son just a fireball, like he just be off the wall with it, just feeding off of her. But yeah, she does that shit. That's not me. I'm a fucking like. That's why I hate fucking networking and shit, because people put up a guise of like networking and ask you questions like, what the fuck you really want? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck you really want? Like, if it's a person that's actually intriguing, you know what I mean? Like, you actually like interested in like knowing because like they're fucking interesting. Then it comes off as a very genuine conversation, and I've been there. But the whole like meet new people, asking questions, doing what they ask, that's not me. Like, I don't give a fuck about no rigmarole type shit. Like, I be hearing other people do this shit, and I be like, damn, that's a good question. Like, I should probably put that in the bank. And sometimes I do. Like, I put that shit in the bank when I be faking that shit. I be like, yeah, like, that's like, I put that question out, and then I get like another answer that keeps the conversation going for like fucking 2 more minutes. But to me, ain't no conversation worth having if it's not a conversation where y'all gotta walk away feeling like you didn't finish it. That's it. The best conversations are the ones that's like, yo, we got to get out. Like the ones right now, like it's like, I got to get out of here. Like, I got to go. Like, it's been great talking, but I got to go. That's what be happening with me and Justin. Like, after the stranger shit, we be talking, like, I got to go, but this, that, and that. I got to go, but this, that, and that. Like, it be that shit, and it's, you don't have that shit with everybody, bro. Like, you don't have that shit with everybody. And I think at like 31, I'm figuring, like, I kind of figure that shit out, like, I ain't really here for that shit. Like I used to want to be, trying to be friends. I ain't really here for that shit. I don't got the personality. Like it says, the mental want to have to do that, because it is a lot of work. It is a lot of mental work to have to do that shit. Damn, how did we get there? But anyway, hey, that's dope. See though, that's dope. But look, anyway, I appreciate all y'all for coming through. Look, man, it's been an amazing time. Coming through, chilling with y'all. Make sure, like I said, hit the notification bell, because you never know when I'm going to come back and I'm going to be streaming on this joint. You never know. But with that being said, I'm going to be out of here. Much love to y'all. I'll see you later. I think I found the perfect beat to bring the bars back. I think I found the perfect beat to bring them bars back. I think I found the perfect beat to bring them bars back. Hey, I think I found the perfect beat to bring them bars back. I liked how we get the stream back and never lag. How we come through the dojo, we just relax. But every time I turn up, best believe we're spitting facts. Just chill, sit back and let me cook. You can go ahead and hate on me like I put it on the book. They trying to be like me when they grow up. Yeah, big chance. They trying to be like me when they blow up. Now they some fans, and I ain't talking about fangrams, talking about the Instagrams. I don't want to talk about the things that I can't even stand. Like you hitters that can't stand no business. Let me fucking finish how I motherfucking hit it. How I hit it, you should witness, cause it's greatness like I'm the king in it and you just missing. You missing all the real shit that I be saying, I be slanging. Off the top of my dome, I just be slaying like a saying, like I'm a saying, I be spraying with it. And I don't got no switch, but I just be AKing with it. My girl a AKA, and I'ma let it slay. But at the end of the day, I just be contrary. Damn, coming from my crib where we live and where we live, I just did it for the biz. On the live, that's how we get. Off the dome is how I spit. Off the chrome is how I live. Talking chrome on the wheels and chromes on the blit. Damn, I'm talking chrome on the stick and let the hit, and then you know what I don't miss. Like, damn. That chrome don't miss, the chrome don't miss. But whenever I spit facts, you know that shit'll never diss. But if I do this, you know that you was gonna feel it. You gonna motherfucking feel it. With the wounds so deep, you gonna need Jesus to heal it. Damn. And even if he heal you physically, you gonna need some shit like therapy. Damn. I'ma have to shave some bars off because this shit is getting hairy, B. Damn. All right, let me chill. I ran out of bars. I had it for a little bit. But look, we out of here, man. Much love for y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for putting up with my rants. You know what I mean. Great time in here tonight. You know what? I don't even got to thank y'all for putting up with my rants because I know y'all like it when a real motherfucker be spitting real motherfucking shit. None of this bias shit. None of this culture war shit. This straight up 100% uncultured motherfucking opinionated motherfucking facts in this bitch. I'm out.